red ribbon style ube roll made from our homegrown root crop, grown at the balcony. And despite the chaos at the kitchen, there's a happy ending. At my take home, si cameraman. Not yet done here before on Channel 1. There's learning, fun, troubleshooting, and much learning. Let's join Romelo at the kitchen. Hello, your Kuya here. Welcome to our small kitchen, which we are turning today into a small bakery. I'm not wearing this purple sweater for no reason. We're baking today ube roll from our camote harvest. This will be fun. Seriously, we're road testing the ube roll recipe, which was put together by Cooking with Kurt, one of my most admired baking channel in North America, Pinoy baking channel. I don't have a formal baking training, but we'll be checking this out, this recipe, and we'll concentrate on the fun and the troubleshooting. It can be challenging, but I'll be sharing you some tips which I have acquired from other pros and from the experiences we've had from baking other cakes. Stay with me. Our voiceover will now be presenting the ingredients. Flour, sugar, baking soda, and salt. Halaya, oil, milk, eggs, and ube flavoring. Pros always do it this way. They sift the dry ingredients together. I don't have cake flour, but we'll try the ordinary flour. Sugar here, the baking powder, and the salt, which I find too much for a cake recipe. Imagine 1/2 teaspoon. I reduce it. Sorry, Kurt. This will be dusty. Let's set this aside for now and let's separate the egg yolks from the egg white. The egg yolks we'll be using for the batter, and the egg whites we'll use for making the meringue. One thing that I've learned in handling egg whites is that use extra clean utensils. Any trace of fat will influence the creation of meringue, really. It should be squeaky clean. I'll be using the same bowl for making the meringue, so to spare me from washing this thoroughly later, I'll just use a separate mixing bowl for the butter. Let's add the rest of the ingredients, the wet ingredients. You can find the video on the making of the halaya in the description box below or above on the iTab. And the halaya which we made from our harvest. My camera did not cooperate, but I added 2 teaspoons of ube extract to make the ube flavor more enhanced, and 1/2 teaspoon of ube color. I think we are now ready to mix our batter. I'm very happy with the consistency of my batter here. Tip: use medium-sized eggs, because recipes don't specify, but when using large eggs, it can make your butter very wet. This is perfect, I think. It's time to work on the meringue. As I've said earlier, our bowl should be squeaky clean, free of any trace of fat. And 1/2 cream of tartar. Tip: if you don't have it, just use 1/2 teaspoon of vinegar. You'll never taste it. Vinegar can be sour, but you'll never taste it. So 1/2 teaspoon The cream of tartar is just to stabilize the meringue. It helps in the formation and retention. We need 1/3 cup of sugar as well, but we'll add it later. It's now shiny. The peaks are now shiny, so we can fold it into the batter. The folding is a critical process because we don't want to lose the air bubbles that we've created in the meringue. So fold, don't mix, or mix, but don't mix gently. 1/3 at a time. I didn't know what this was called until I reviewed the other videos. This is called the jelly roll tray. Lots of learning on YouTube. We'll line our tray with what's this? A parchment paper or any non-adhesive paper. This can be messy, look. Into the oven now at 170 degrees Celsius, or that's 350 degrees Fahrenheit to our watchers in the US, for 20 minutes. If you were with me during the camote harvesting at the balcony, this is one of the resulting dishes from the halaya that we've made from that camote. Upcoming next, perhaps sapin-sapin with Camote Halaya. Abangan! Come back for those recipes and also our Christmas dishes. It's been 20 minutes. I think it's cooked. Let's check. Look at that! Not bad. We'll apply confectioner sugar here so that it will not stick to the sheet that we're using. Most bakers, including Kurt in his demo, use parchment paper for this purpose. But I've also learned from other bakers that there's a better way to keep the roll from sticking onto the paper. Parchment paper traps moisture, so that makes the roll wet. So instead, we are using kitchen towel. Ta-da! Yeah. And we need, flipping this over can be challenging. So we'll use a bigger tray. Place it on top. This is what I've learned from Kurt. And then flip it. So it's easy, really. Thank you, Kurt. And we can now remove the sheet, the parchment paper. Look how beautiful it is. Before rolling this, we have to reserve some portions for the decoration later. Around 1 inch from here. Or let's say, yeah, around 1 inch. Kurt did 2 inches, but I'll do just 1 inch. We'll be crumbling this later for decoration, or to be used as decoration, I should say. And here also a portion. Yeah. And we now roll. This is small roll, and place it on a tray. Now we can prepare our frosting or filling. Now we need, according to Kurt, this is what he recommends: 2 cups of heavy cream or whipping cream, and 8 ounce, or that's 225 grams of cream cheese, which I have here, and 1/2 cup granulated sugar. 225 grams of cream cheese. Yeah, that should be approximately 225. And 1/2 cup of sugar. Yeah. We won't forget the vanilla flavoring, vanilla sugar. And into the mixer. What's this? Oh, that's good. Not almost a disaster. Okay, let's clean this first. Cameraman, do you think it's ready?
I think so.
Yeah?
Stiff enough.
Not yet, I think. This should be okay now, I think. 종아용 됐어요. To me. My cameraman is saying this is too rich. We're not yet done, cameraman. Because this is not yet the topmost decoration. We are yet to add more layers. We will crumble this and add more layers. Excited. I could hardly believe I was able to make it. At first, the icing was not so stable, but yeah, I was able to make it. Not bad. We're not yet done, cameraman. Yeah. As I've said, we're not yet done. We are to make a beautiful rosette. Sayang. Want some? I'm really happy with this. It has to go to the fridge for at least 2 to 3 hours. Cameraman, you have to wait for this before returning to your country tonight. 2 to 3 hours. We have to give it time to set. So into the fridge. Our ube roll a la Goldilocks made according to the recipe of Kurt. It's not bad at all. It's promising, but let's find out. Look at that. Honestly, I didn't expect it to be really tasty, but what I miss is it's not very spongy. I'm expecting a more spongy roll, similar to the texture of the mamon. I think I overbeat the meringue, so it collapsed a bit, and the frosting. If you look at the frosting, close up, cameraman. If you look at the frosting, they are not very pronounced. The forms are not very pronounced, and it's a bit soft. But it's a bit soft, really. But I think the recipe calls for 2 cups of whipping cream, and I was suspicious of that. I think 1 cup should have been enough. If you noticed earlier, I have lots of extra frosting, so I think 1 cup. Another reason was that this whipping cream was not cold. It was used directly from the supermarket shelf, so it was not cold. Nevertheless, cameraman, how do you find it?
Oh, it's delicious.
Really, despite the shortcomings in texture, it's really delicious. Really.
Amazing.
See, you heard it's really amazing. So, as a reward to my cameraman, he will be bringing home. How many portions, cameraman? 2?
3, 4.
No, that's too much.
Yeah.
We have to share to our other neighbors here.
2.
So he will be bringing a portion to Belgium.
1 is enough.
No, 2 will be good,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Or I can freeze the rest, and you can have it.
No, you have to.
So look. So what an overload of ube is that? Ube. 1 more. We have to be generous. Cameraman here. Yeah. Thin slices, because we have to give Madam Grace also.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. So ube overload. And look. Ube. My shit. Ube overload, look at that. Yeah, I'm really happy. So, if you really enjoyed what you've just seen today, our adventure, duplicating the recipe as put together by Kurt. Thank you, Kurt, by the way. It's a success. Next time we'll do this perfectly. It's delicious, but not perfect, texture-wise. But if this gardener with rough hands can do it, you too can do it. Gawa na. Gawa. Until next time, your kuya here in Holland. I'm really happy with the result. Maingit kayo. You can duplicate red ribbon pastries or cakes at home. Good. Ano kin?
Zet het in het midden.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah. And another thing, I hope you've learned something. Me as well. Lots of learning today. Be patient with be careful in making the meringue, and use the right temperature when using whipping cream. As an option, by the way, if you're using, another option, if you are in a warmer weather, I have an option here in the description box. Use egg white instead. It's more stable.